These are two smartphones that are loaded with features and yet affordable. The cameras too are similar on paper, but which one does the better job when it comes to real world performance? This is Sandeep from RevAtlas and you're watching the camera comparison between the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 and the Realme 2 Pro. In terms of hardware, the Max Pro M2 has a 12MP 1x2.9-inch Sony IMX486 sensor with f1.8 aperture, 1.25 micron pixel size and a secondary 5MP depth sensor. The Realme 2 Pro has a 16MP 1x2.8-inch Sony IMX389 sensor with 16MP of resolution, f1.7 aperture and 1.12 micron pixel size, as well as a secondary 2MP depth sensor. Both the phones are quick in terms of focus speeds and exposure levels are also on point. There's a slight difference in color tones where the Realme 2 Pro is generally cooler and the M2 is warmer. Funnily enough, at times they also reverse the tonality where the Realme 2 Pro becomes warmer and the Zenfone becomes cooler. In terms of detail and sharpness, the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is better, and this is evident when you pixel peep. This just shows how the megapixel count and resolution aren't exactly good measures to judge how detailed a photo turns out to be, and a lot depends on the processing as well. Coming to a portrait mode, the battle is closer as both the phones handle bokeh very well and even have good edge detection. The slight difference in color tones are also present here, but the depth sensor does give Asus an edge as it manages to produce better detail and sharpness on the portion in focus thanks to higher resolution. Hardware-wise, the larger aperture on the Realme 2 Pro and marginally larger sensor might help it a bit, but it also has a higher resolution and smaller pixels than the Zenfone Max Pro M2, which means it should have higher noise levels as well. As expected, the Realme 2 Pro photos do have higher amounts of noise compared to the Max Pro M2. The ISO levels chosen by Realme 2 Pro are also higher, which combined with the smaller pixel size and higher resolution causes these higher noise levels. The shots are also more prone to blurring as well, as you can see in these shots. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 also has higher detailing and sharpness. The Realme 2 Pro also has slight focus issue in really low light situations where it sometimes doesn't get the focus right. The front-facing camera on the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is a 13MP unit with f2 aperture, while the Realme 2 Pro has a 16MP f2 unit. Both the phones offer good detail and sharpness in well-lit situations, but when the light drops you do see noise introduced on both. It's not too bad but still evident when you pixel peep. But another issue in low light conditions is subject blurring, which means that you need to keep your phone and hand steady for longer. Asus manages pretty decent shots, but the Realme 2 Pro is more prone to blurring. The portrait mode on the front camera is again superior on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, especially when it comes to the edge detection. In terms of video, you get 4K 30fps support on both the phones without EIS and 1080p 30fps with EIS as well. Both are quite similar when it comes to a dynamic range and colors. Max Pro M2 has better detailing however and a slightly higher bitrate. In terms of front-facing camera, there is a major difference between the two since the Max Pro M2 supports EIS while the Realme 2 Pro doesn't. The resolution remains the same, but the videos look so much better on the Max Pro M2 thanks to EIS. This is the front-facing camera on the Zenfone Max Pro M2 recording 1080p 30fps video with the front-facing camera and this EIS as well. So let me know what you guys think about the overall sharpness, the dynamic range, the stability, and how well it's picking my voice as well in this particular scenario. This is the front-facing camera on the Realme 2 Pro capturing 1080p video at 30fps. There's no EIS involved in this, so let me know how's the stabilization compared to the Zenfone Max Pro M2, as well as the other parameters such as the dynamic range, how well it's picking my voice, and the overall sharpness as well. Overall, it seems like the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is a more solid contender among the two, and while it was close in some aspects compared to the Realme 2 Pro, the Asus always did everything just a bit better at least, and the portrait mode, low light performance and video aspects especially are much better on the Asus. So if camera is a priority, you should look at the Zenfone Max Pro M2. Thanks for watching this video, see you again in the next one.